Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Shai, Bashem, Dash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us of truth. And salutations to the sincere Akim and Aqua for the listen. My name is Brother Kwai. I'm back in here with another lesson. To hopefully, speak, strengthen, build up, and edify, the lambs and sheep of how Hashem Shai, right? So the topic I have today, I wanted to speak about briefly, is speech, and our speech is meant to be truthful rather than excellent, right? Something that I was thinking about for quite a couple days now, because like even myself, I struggle with this sometimes, like not always knowing what to say or how to say something, but more something it's more concerned to be truthful rather than sort of words you use. Like for example, like in my experience in right, so my experience in going to these like institutions of like so-called higher learning, like these post-secondary schools and stuff like that, you learn how to, well, basically, yeah, you do learn how to like speak and argue, but they're so used to using a lot of like words, like very very wordy words, instead of actually getting down to the truth of actual things, right? So in a nutshell, what I wanted to discuss today was eloquence, because you would find that there are people who are very very eloquent, that they can speak and they can orate very well. It doesn't always necessarily mean that it's truthful. So we're more concerned about, in the ministry, we're more concerned about something, brothers and people who are speaking the truth, rather than somebody who just sounds nice. They may speak very well and it might be disguised as truth, but that can also be a stumbling block, right? So the first scripture I just want to get is Isaiah. Like if you think about, like, there are a lot of pastors in churches. I think even like T.D. Jakes, for example, is another good example of somebody. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of like Israelites that can speak. They can speak very well. I believe another example is what's that guy's name? Malcolm X, right? He was able to. Oh, man, I remember watching the Denzel Washington movie. That old Malcolm X movie. It was like years ago, back in the 1990s, and a lot of so I think the director Spike Lee had taken a lot of his speeches, and Denzel had to read out a lot of Malcolm's original speeches, and he was able to speak like very very well. He was very eloquent, right? But just because somebody's eloquent doesn't mean it's always truthful, right? So we're more concerned about truth's sake rather than somebody who just can dress up and use big words and all that kind of stuff. So Akia, what's that scripture? Isaiah 13:10. Okay, so this is Isaiah 13:10, and it reads, which say to the seers is another word for prophet, see not, add to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. So these are people that are in the world, for example. They don't speak the right thing. They don't wake up who the Israelites are. what the curses are, the true nature of the Most High Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai, their true name, their true biblical names. For truth's sake, they're teaching other things. They're teaching things that are not biblical, basically. God is all love and all that kind of stuff like that. And that's deceiving people. Even though they can speak very well, I'll give them that. But just because they can speak very well doesn't mean that it's truthful. That's the point I want to get at. Right? The next scripture I just want to get to is Isaiah 4:10, and this is a short account of Moses. So this is Exodus. This is Exodus 4:10, and it reads, right. And Moses said unto the Lord Yahweh, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and of slow tongue. Right? So he wasn't as great of a speaker, is what he's trying to tell the Lord Yahweh. Right? Let's actually get that word eloquent in the etymology. Let's go to that. Okay, so eloquent, having the power of expressing strong emotions, in vivid and appropriate speech, able to utter moving thoughts or words. Let's see, speaking, having the faculty of speech. Let's see, to speak out. Right? So somebody who is, they can captivate an audience and they can speak very well and they can convey, the ideas, the emotions. And, when somebody speaks, especially like some salespeople who are very good at speaking, they can feel the passion in what you're saying. Like, for example, like Tony Robbins and, other speakers, right? But just because somebody can speak very, very well, that doesn't mean that it's always true. And this is something that we have to be able to look on, to be able to discern, right? We're more concerned about truth's sake rather than what just sounds nice, the smooth things that it says in Isaiah 13:10, right? Okay, so let's go back to Exodus, and this is Exodus 4:11, and it reads, And the Lord Yahweh said unto him, Who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have I not the Lord? So the Lord is asking a question. He's saying, hasn't he done all these things? Right? Because the Lord is in control of everything. Right? Verse 12. Now therefore, go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. So, the Lord Yahweh is saying to Moses, I'm going to be with you, and I will help you so you can convey your message a lot, quickly, quickly, and in a more eloquent manner, right? Because Moses feels like he might trip up on his words or something like that, right? So he's trying to build up his confidence and remind him that it's like, hey, I'm going to be with you when you speak, so don't worry, right? Verse 12, Salakia, verse 13. And he said, O my Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him who whom thou wilt send. And 14, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses, and he said, Is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? I know he can speak well, and also, behold, he cometh forward to meet thee. And when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart. So Aaron, Moses' brother, was able to speak very, very well, but Moses was the one that was able. He wasn't as eloquent, so to speak, in comparison to Aaron, right? So this is verse 15. And thou shalt speak unto him, put words in his mouth. I will be with thy mouth, and with his mouth will teach you what he shall do. So he's, the Most High Yahweh is reaffirming to Moses, like, listen, I'm going to be with you, and I'm going to give you the instructions, and you will know what to say when the time comes, right? Like for myself, for example, in certain situations, I actually never really know what to say. I can express certain things. I guess being a so-called like introvert in this world, what they call it. In some situations, I can communicate something very like clearly and very easily, but I am going to be honest with you, brothers and few sisters. I am horrible at expressing my own emotions. Horrible. I actually need other brothers in the camp to actually break things down and explain them for me, because I can't. I am like just like Moses. I'm very slow of speech when it comes to, I guess, expressing my own emotions. And you might notice there are other brothers like this. It doesn't mean that they're not smart. It just means that they may not be as eloquent, right? So this is going to be a short lesson. The last scripture I'm just going to hit is 1 Corinthians 2 and 1. So this is Paul speaking to the Corinthians, Israelites in Corinth. So this is 1 Corinthians 2 and 1, and reads, I, brethren, when I came to you, I came not with excellency of speech or of wisdom, declaring unto you the testimony of your Most High Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Right? So even Paul as well, he's saying that, okay, I didn't come with this, like this world, for example, glorifies the importance and the idea of having a prestigious knowledge, going to these institutions of higher learning. But, the wisdom of the world is nothing in comparison to the wisdom of the scriptures, right? Because you get a very, very vast, full education of how to judge matters, very, very clearly when you have a good understanding of the scriptures, right? Right? So this is what Paul was saying to the Israelites in Corinth. So anyways, that's just this is just the end of my video, and I just wanted to talk about that because you will notice, just because this is just a video to solidify the point that if somebody speaks well, it doesn't mean that it's truthful. I think there's a scripture that says only let me see if I can find it. If it were possible, they would be able to deceive the very elect. Deceive. Okay. So this is Matthew 24 and 24. For there shall arise false Mashiachs, false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, in so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So it will be till the only people who won't be deceived by these different prophets, pastors, people who are not speaking truth for truth's sake will be elect. They will never be deceived by that, right? So, continue to pray for, be able to discern matters, um, and just, continue to study, stay strong. So that's it for me. So I just had to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us the truth. Until next time, I'd like to say Shalom.